Perfect. Hi, everyone. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about, sorry, got a little bit ahead of myself, the sports betting in Ontario and the framework analysis. Um, First of all, my name is Sandra McNally. I'm doing this for course RMG 700, and I hope that you enjoy this. Okay, so my research question when first starting this whole assignment was, is sports betting in Ontario too heavily advertised? And what is the consumer experience with sports betting currently in Ontario? So, my objectives with this were to gather key insights to understand the customer sentiment and experience around sports betting in Ontario. So, I wanted to analyze advertising frequency and consumer experiences related to sports betting in Ontario while gathering consumer sentiment again from Twitter, or well, X, as it is now. So, to do this, I saw the recurring themes and concerns customers were displaying within their tweets. And I used that to kind of create actionable recommendations for sports betting operators and regulators, just to make the experience a little bit better for all, but especially for consumers. So the relevant literature. I would say it would be increasing prevalence of sports betting advertising and its impact on consumers, consumer perception of fairness, odds, competitiveness, and platform reliability. This is because a lot of from the tweets I saw, the consumers were kind of being annoyed at the platforms because they weren't letting them cash out, or it was just so hard to do. Um, and on top, then you have all these other different sports betting sites, and they were all just flooding Twitter with their odds and everything. So it might just get a little bit overwhelming for the customer as well as on top of that, when they do want to cash out, they want an easy, fast transition, which right now we're not seeing. So those two things, because I feel if they see too much of it, it's just gonna feel like it's getting shoved down their throats almost. And that action to call that, we're not seeing that really. We could it is very much so a thing in Ontario. People are using and they are betting on sports, but we could see a much more positive light in this situation. Um, with instead of consumers being annoyed, they're excited every time they see something related to that. Um, we just need to cut that a little bit, but I'm getting ahead of myself, so we'll talk about that a bit more in the later part. And the importance to responsible gambling measures and their effects on consumer trust and market sustainability, because consumers want to feel like companies do have their best interest in their heart. Don't want to feel like they're just getting pushed a product or service. So our methodology, or well, the methodology I used, so conducted content analysis using framework analysis, reviewed tweets for recurring themes, phrases, and sentiment, and I saw each tweet carefully evaluated and coded it according to these themes. So with the qualitative method, this involves systematic data categorization and thematic interpretation. So this used while reviewing the data set and to get a comprehensive sense of the tweet content. And so looking at recurring words, phrases, sentiments, such as fast withdrawals, poor odds, customer service issues, and customers getting upset that they're seeing so much ads, and analyzing the coded data to identify patterns such as the previously mentioned the pattern of customers being upset seeing too much ads, the odds and everything getting kind of displayed all the time. And then we saw a little bit more of a pattern with responsible gambling also being shown, which is good. So at least they are trying to put out measures. And then we focused on the categories, like on 3 categories, and marketing, promotions, and customer experience with odds. So I guess, um, so yeah, let me see here. And with the coding process too, I got the data. Each tweet, like I read it, noted the language, wrote that down, and then that turned, or well, these are the market categories over here: marketing, promotions, customer experience, odd competitiveness. So with that, so the one that we see over here at the top, that was the raw data form. So with that being said, I had to put this in first. So I got the tweets here. This is just a little example. Found the tweets, got the date logs, the link, the tweet IDs. Then after that, categorized it. So over here at the bottom, we can see that it's the same tweet, but then now it has already a category such as customer experience, marketing and promotions, etc. So just to be able to read it a little bit more and get a clearer insight. So the results of these findings were limited positive experiences, just because like the customers are, once they have a bad experience, it's really hard to get a customer to like retry something. And like we see that there's some bad experiences with either um, delayed withdrawals, or like companies taking withdrawals from it and then like putting it back. So it's just something like that. And then we're also seeing, again, like customers just upset that they're seeing so many ads before the game or during the game. So it doesn't really let them enjoy what they're trying to watch, which is primarily the game. Because the betting should be more of like a hand in hand instead of the primary focus. For the client, they want to feel like it's an add-on, like when you go to the movie theater and you have your movie and you have your popcorn and your drinks, but you don't want to feel like you just went to Cineplex to get popcorn and drinks, So it's just something like that. It's supposed to be more of a complimentary experience, but if they can't enjoy the game, then the fun of the betting is kind of out of there. And so we're seeing frustration, a lot of that with the advertising. But for like the positives, again, like very limited feedback on that part as of now. So I'll go here. For odds and competitiveness, we did see frequent discussion about odd fairness and transparency. So it's just more of like what odds they like are the odds of the game and like who they think they'll win. So it was a lot of sites promoting this. Or like moderators, like they're all out there, like as soon as the games like get announced, I guess they're just like creating the odds, and promotional emphasis on competitive odds and influencing customer trust. So like you see a lot of like the sites, they're trying to compete for the same customer, right? So I think that's why they keep putting all of these tweets out, but it just floods the feed of the customer. So like the customer can't really know, like, should they do it? Is it like gimmicky, like, so it's nice to have the odds, but again, there seems to be a lot of promotions regarding that. And then with the marketing and promotions, very high visibility, frequent advertising, though, is, again, negatively impacting consumer perception. So, like, consumers love seeing the odds before they place their bets, but because it's so much, again, like, so much promotions, like, it just feels like it's getting, like, shoved down their throats again. So for the discussion portion of this, so consumers perceive, again, like betting advertisements as overly frequent and kind of like intrusive to their game. Consumers' tweets highlighted their concerns regarding the frequency and nature of sports betting advertising, and this raises questions over why it's so overly advertised. technical reliability as well, and transparency and odds, and a customer experience emerged as critical factors because, like, if they're not having a good experience, they're not going to want to use the site and they're not going to want to place their bets on that site, or in general, maybe even because it might turn them off, like, from even doing that. Um, and it influences overall customer satisfaction. So again, like, they want to feel like it's something complimentary, like it's for them, but it's not being shoved down, like, their throats. Again, sorry for the lack of a better word. Um, and a lot of tweets were regarding, like, possible odds again in upcoming games with a push to bet, and just overall customer dissatisfaction that was seen a lot. So yeah, and there's also concerns about the withdrawal process, as previously mentioned, and with the customer service quality, because customer service takes a while coming back um, when they are told about this. So instead of taking, like, a few days, like, it would be nicer to see, like, customer service get back to them maybe, like, within a few minutes, within a few hours at the very most, and just transparency again. So for the conclusion, we feel like, or well, I feel like improving these areas can enhance customer satisfaction and foster customer trust. If we're seeing, like, a few advertisements, but not so much that we're just flooded with it, I feel like that'll be better because, again, like, they'll get excited whenever they see an ad, like, or a tweet regarding this. They'll be like, oh yeah, like, let me place my bets. But if it's being continuously done, they're just like, oh my god, another one of these things, another tweet about this, or another post about this, another ad about this. um so I feel like it needs to be a little bit more regulated, or at least, like, they need to have a little bit more, like, the customer's thought process, like, in mind. um yeah, so, like, I feel like the operators should balance promotional activities while enhancing service quality as well, and regulators, like, well, even operators actually, like, they should enhance transparency again in odds and improve customer trust. They are, like, doing the best in that part still. Like, I feel like the odds really isn't an issue. um it's just more like they need to address platform reliability through increased technical investments. So if it's getting more customer service agents, implementing AI customer service, and just frequently updating their sites so that they don't have all those issues with, like, the withdrawal process if they get too much, or, like, if the site crashes and, like, they can't get IRL updates. Um, and then just continually keep monitoring and improving customer service experience again by addressing these concerns that we do have, like, with those previously mentioned items. And then for operators, um, sorry, for regulators, feel like consider implementing regulations and advertising frequency again and content, and then just strengthen consumer protection through clear policies and responsible advertising, and transparency while conducting, like, monitoring and on the betting operators, just because maybe they can get a little bit over them, like, ahead of themselves, the betting operators, because they want the customers to use their sites. But again, um, it's just, if it's too much, a lot is not always good. And yeah, well, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. That's all for today. And yeah, in conclusion, like, again, like I said, like, this analysis shows significant customer concerns about advertising frequency and responsible gambling, transparency, and overall customer user experience in Ontario's sports betting market. But we feel like addressing these strategic areas can substantially improve customer satisfaction and trust. So thank you for your time. Bye.